black girl walks into a dealership with dreams and walks out with scars they couldn't see. What will happen when the world learns who she's really connected to? Let us know in the comments section below. Angelina Sandler didn't need anyone's validation. She'd saved every single dollar herself. After school jobs, tutoring gigs, even making digital art commissions on the side. Now, finally, with a backpack full of crisp 20s and a printout of her top 3 car choices, she stepped onto the slick marble floors of Fairway Auto Plaza like she belonged there. Because she did. She just didn't look like what they were used to. The dealership was clean enough to eat off. Glass walls let in wide rays of sunshine that bounced off polished BMWs and matte black Chargers. Jazz music played low from hidden speakers, and the smell of leather and citrusy air freshener clung to every corner. Angelina took it all in like someone who had rehearsed this moment in her head 1,000 times. She wore a gray hoodie, jeans that had seen better days, and her favorite black and white sneakers. Her braids were tied up in a bun, loose strands falling over her cheekbones. She looked young because she was barely 18, but her eyes were focused, and her fingers curled tighter around the straps of her backpack, like she was holding her dreams in place. No one approached her. Salesmen hovered near a middle-aged couple looking at an Audi Q7. Another group of men stood by a reception desk, joking among themselves. One of them, a short guy with gelled hair and a shiny suit, noticed her first. His smirk was immediate. Angelina walked straight up to him. "Hi," she said. "I'm here to look at the Hyundai Elantra 2020 model. I called yesterday. Someone said it would be out front." He blinked, then chuckled like she'd just told a joke. "Sure," he said slowly, looking her up and down. "You mean test drive the Elantra?" "Yes," she answered, still polite. "If that's possible." "Right." He turned to his co-workers. "Yo, Kyle, we got a walk-in for the 2020 Elantra." The way he said walk-in sounded like code for not worth our time. Kyle, taller, with sandy hair and a golf tan, ambled over with a crooked grin. He leaned one arm on the desk like they were at a party and not a professional showroom. "Sweetheart," he said, "do you even have a license?" Angelina's spine stiffened. She pulled it out of her pocket and handed it over. He glanced at it, then handed it back without really looking. "Cool, cool," he said. "But, the Elantra's out for a real appointment. Might want to try down the street? I hear they do test drives for high school projects." That one earned a laugh from the other salesman nearby. One of them muttered something like, "Is it Bring Your Kid to Luck Day?" And Angelina's ears burned. She stood there, frozen in the moment, feeling the sting creep up her throat like it wanted to choke her. "I have cash," she said, almost too quietly. "What's that?" "I have money to buy, to—" Kyle's smile twisted. "That's so? What's the budget, 1,000? She didn't answer. She just looked him in the eye, held her ground. "You're serious," Kyle said, now louder. "You're seriously here to buy a car?" The dealership had grown quieter. A few people nearby were starting to notice, but not enough. Not enough to matter. "Listen," Kyle continued, his voice lowering but not his condescension. "We're not trying to waste your time or ours. These cars aren't for everybody, all right?" Angelina's lips parted slightly, her breath short, not because of what he said, but how he said it, like he was letting her down easy, like he was doing her a favor. "I see," she said, and that's all she said. She turned around, walked out. Not quickly, not angrily, just purposefully. The sound of her sneakers against the tile floor was the only music now. Kyle didn't call after her. Nobody did. Outside, the air hit her like a slap, bracing and too loud. The world felt cruel in a different way out here. People driving past had no idea what just happened inside that glass box. She looked down at her hands, still gripping the backpack strap. That was her whole summer in there. $8,000 in cash, and not a single person inside that building believed she could afford a steering wheel, let alone a car. Her phone buzzed. "Mom, everything okay?" Angelina stared at the message, then at the dealership, then back at the message. Her fingers hovered above the screen. She could say yes. She could say, "All good, just browsing." That's what she usually did, protect her mom from the little humiliations she didn't need to worry about. But not today. Her thumbs moved slowly. Typed, deleted, retyped. "Angelina, they laughed at me. Treated me like I didn't belong. I'll tell you later." The response came almost instantly. "Mom, which dealership?" Angelina paused. Should she answer? She knew what her mom was like. Tina Sandler didn't let things go. She was kind, but she was a force. Her world was meetings, contracts, handshakes worth millions. If she showed up, it wouldn't be a scene, it'd be a reckoning. But still, Angelina hesitated. She looked back one last time at the big silver letters on the front of the building, Fairway Auto Plaza. She sighed, and then she sent the name. Just the name. Then she zipped up her hoodie, pulled her backpack tighter, and started walking home. Because this wasn't over. Not by a long shot. The door to Tina Sandler's penthouse office was already open when her assistant nervously stepped inside, tablet in hand, brow furrowed. "Miss Sandler, you've got someone on the line." Tina didn't look up from her desk. Her focus was locked on the architectural renderings spread across her tablet. "Is it legal? Corporate? Personal?" "Your daughter?" the assistant said softly. Tina's head lifted. That changed everything. She tapped to pause the projection and slid the tablet aside. Her voice softened, but her eyes didn't. "Put her through." The screen on her desk came to life, and there was Angelina, sitting on her bed, hoodie still on, hair a little looser now. She didn't look angry, she looked like someone trying not to be. "Hi, Mama." Tina leaned forward. "You all right?" There was a pause, just a breath long, and then Angelina nodded. "I'm okay, just had a weird day." Tina didn't interrupt. She waited. "I went to Fairway Auto Plaza to check out the Elantra like we talked about." Another pause. "They wouldn't even let me see it. They laughed at me, called it a school project or something. I don't think they believed I had a license." A long silence hung in the space between mother and daughter. Tina's expression didn't change, but the muscle in her jaw ticked once. She blinked slowly and her voice came even, clipped. "Did you tell them your name?" "No," Angelina said. "Didn't feel like it would have mattered." It wasn't until Tina nodded that Angelina realized she'd been holding her breath. "I'm sorry, Ma. I didn't mean to bother you with this. I needed to tell someone who wouldn't look at me like they already decided who I was." "You didn't bother me," Tina replied. "You reminded me." "Reminded you?" Tina smiled then, barely. "What it used to feel like." Angelina glanced down at her lap, then back at the screen. "It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, it sucked, but I walked out. That's something, right?" Tina nodded again, her voice lower now. "That's everything." There was a beat before she added, "I'll take care of it." Angelina's eyes widened. "Wait, Ma, no. Please don't call them. I don't want a whole scene. I'm not trying to go viral or whatever. I just needed to talk." Tina's tone was firm but not unkind. "I understand. I'm not going to call." Angelina narrowed her eyes, suspicious. "You're not going to call, but you're going to do something." "I'll handle it," Tina said. That usually meant something bigger than a phone call. But Angelina knew better than to argue. Once her mother said those words, the plan was already in motion. Fighting it was like trying to hold back a river with your bare hands. Tina ended the call politely, calmly, even warmly. But the second the screen went black, her hand was already reaching for her intercom. "Scheduled a car. No driver." Her assistant paused. "The Rolls?" Tina's eyes gleamed. "Yes." Make sure the chrome's detailed. At Fairway Auto Plaza, the next morning began like every other, calm, caffeinated, and full of smug little rituals. Kyle stood behind the desk sipping cold brew and swiping through Instagram stories while pretending to check emails. The showroom gleamed, same as always. Clients trickled in, an older couple here, a pair of yuppies there. No one worth getting excited about. And then the car rolled in. Not just any car. A Rolls-Royce Phantom. Sleek, midnight blue, polished to a mirror finish, with silver trim that seemed to catch the sun and throw it back like a challenge. It stopped directly in front of the showroom's glass wall, engine purring, quiet and dangerous. Kyle looked up from his phone. "What the hell?" he muttered. The doors didn't open right away. Whoever was inside knew how to make an entrance. When the passenger door finally swung open, a black stiletto heel touched the pavement first. Then came the woman herself. Tina Sandler stepped out, wearing a tailored cream blazer over a navy blouse, matching slacks, and dark sunglasses that didn't hide the sharp intent behind them. She didn't walk so much as glide, calm, certain, magnetic. Kyle blinked twice. His coworker nudged him. "Yo." She's someone. Like, important. Kyle squared his shoulders and started toward the door, putting on his brightest, "I'm a professional" smile. "Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to Fairway Auto." Tina didn't stop walking. She didn't break stride or even look directly at him. "I'm looking for the manager." Yes, of course. He's right this way." Rick Donnelly was sitting in his corner office with his feet on the desk, checking out a property listing for his third vacation home. When Kyle knocked, he didn't even look up. "Give me a second." "Rick," Kyle hissed, "you need to come out, now." "Hey, Humph, someone blow a tire on the lot again?" No, just trust me. This one's different." Reluctantly, Rick stood, tugging his shirt down and fixing his collar. "Fine, what's the story?" He stepped into the showroom just as Tina folded her arms. Rick's grin was automatic. "Good morning, ma'am. How can we help you today?" Tina removed her sunglasses, her gaze leveled with his like a surgeon's scalpel. "I'm here because yesterday my daughter walked into your showroom with cash, with intention, and your staff decided she wasn't worth their time." Rick's smile faltered. "Oh, there must be some misunderstanding." Tina raised one hand. "Don't insult either of us by pretending you don't remember. 18, braids, hoodie, backpack, came in to test drive an Elantra." Kyle shifted uncomfortably behind Rick, now staring at his shoes. Tina took a slow step forward. "You see, I don't believe in screaming matches. I don't believe in threats, but I do believe in standards. And this place," she looked around, her voice razor sharp, "doesn't meet mine." Rick opened his mouth to speak. Tina didn't give him the chance. "I don't need your apology. I don't need your free car washes or a holiday newsletter. I came here to say this. The next time someone walks through that door, you'd better make damn sure you see them before you judge them." Silence. No jazz music, no laughter, just the weight of her words. Tina turned without waiting for a response, her heels clicking against tile like punctuation marks. She got back into her Rolls-Royce and with one smooth turn, pulled away, leaving only the gleam of chrome in her wake. Rick stood frozen. Kyle exhaled slowly. "Who was that?" Rick didn't answer. He was too busy reading the name on the back of the business card she had left on the desk. Tina Sandler, CEO, Sandler Technologies. And underneath, in small, silver type, "You don't have to see the crown to respect the queen." Angelina didn't know about the Rolls-Royce, not at first. She spent the next morning cleaning out her closet, trying to distract herself from the sinking feeling in her chest. The dealership incident hadn't just embarrassed her, it had shaken something deep. The belief that if she worked hard enough, saved long enough, and acted respectful enough, she'd earn a seat at any table. But that place didn't even let her stand near the table. Her mom hadn't followed up again after their call. Not a text, not a hint. And honestly, Angelina was grateful. She didn't want her mother involved in this one. She didn't want pity or rescue. She wanted to solve it on her own, to find a place that did see her, that saw her value before seeing her clothes or her age or the melanin in her skin. She was halfway through organizing a shoebox of old Polaroids when her phone pinged. "Kayla, you were at Fairway yesterday, right?" Angelina blinked. Her fingers hovered over the screen. Angelina, "Yeah, why?" Kayla, "Oh my God, check your DMs, right now." She opened Instagram, and the first thing that hit her was a blurry, zoomed-in video. No, not blurry. Secretly recorded. There, right in the middle of the Fairway Auto Plaza, stood her mom. Flawless, commanding, terrifying in the best possible way. The caption read, "Who is this woman? Walked into Fairway like a boss and destroyed their manager for being racist to her daughter." Angelina's heart dropped to her stomach. The video had thousands of views already. People in the comments were calling Tina the Queen, that woman, a living legend. Some folks were debating if it was real. Others were already tagging brands to make merch out of her quote. And there it was, that last frame. Her mother, walking out in heels like she didn't need the world's permission. The camera caught just enough of the card she dropped on the desk, enough to read Sandler. Angelina stared at the screen in silence. She didn't cry. She didn't smile. She just whispered, "Ma, what did you do?" At that exact moment, Tina was in a boardroom uptown, leaning back in a chair that cost more than some cars. Her team was talking quarterly earnings. Her mind was somewhere else. Her phone buzzed once, then twice, then kept buzzing. She didn't even check it. The COO glanced over. "Is everything all right?" Tina's lips curled into a faint smile. "It's already handled." Back at Fairway Auto Plaza, things weren't so smooth. Rick had been pulled into a private meeting with regional management before noon. No smiles, no sales jokes, just tight lips and clipped questions. "Did you tell a walk-in customer to leave without a test drive?" "She wasn't a serious buyer," Rick tried to explain. "Define serious," one of the executives asked coldly. Rick faltered. Kyle, meanwhile, had been called to HR. Someone had leaked security footage. Between the grainy footage and the viral video of Tina's confrontation, the internet had connected the dots. The dealership's Yelp page was already on fire. One-star reviews were rolling in like a flood. Headlines had started popping up on Twitter. CEO's daughter denied test drive. Rolls-Royce fallout at luxury dealership. Power move. Tina Sandler teaches respect one showroom at a time. Angelina sat in her room, watching it unfold like a slow avalanche she couldn't stop. She didn't know if she was angry or impressed. Maybe both. Probably both. Her phone rang again. Private number. She didn't usually answer those. But this time, something told her to. "Hello?" A deep, warm voice greeted her. "Hi, is this Miss Angelina Sandler?" "Yes. Who is this?" "This is Darnell Foster, General Manager at East Line Motors. I saw what happened, and I just wanted to say, if you're still looking for a car, I'd love for you to come down, test drive whatever you want. No judgment, no assumptions." Angelina blinked. "I didn't post anything." "I know," Darnell said. "But people talk, and good businesses listen." She exhaled slowly. "Think about it." "I hope you do," he said. "We'd be honored to have you." After the call ended, Angelina sat on the edge of her bed. She stared at her own reflection in the mirror across the room. Not the hoodie, not the hair, just the eyes, her own, steady, unapologetic. She picked up her phone and opened her notes. Then she started typing. Dear Fairway Auto Plaza. No, delete. To the men who laughed at me. Nope. Finally she wrote, to anyone who's ever been told they don't look the part, get ready, because the part's changing. She saved it. For now. 2 hours later, she stepped into East Line Motors. It was a modest building. No fountains, no jazz music, just honest floors and clean windows. A woman in a sharp blouse greeted her immediately. Welcome in. What can we help you with today? Angelina's shoulders relaxed an inch. I'd like to test drive the 2020 Elantra, please. Absolutely, the woman said, already walking toward a terminal. Let me grab the keys for you. No questions about her clothes, no sideways glances, just service. Angelina stepped out onto the lot, sunlight bouncing gently off the hoods of parked sedans. The silver Elantra gleamed quietly, waiting. She ran her fingers across the side mirror, then opened the door. She didn't need someone to roll out a carpet. She just needed someone to not roll their eyes. As she pulled out of the lot and turned onto the main road, her hands gripped the steering wheel with steady confidence. She didn't need to prove anything anymore. They already knew. And now, she was in the driver's seat. Literally. The key turned in the ignition with a soft click, and the engine purred like it had been waiting for her. Angelina adjusted the seat, checked the mirrors, and gave herself one last look in the visor. This was the second test drive she'd ever been offered, but it was the first one that actually felt real. No snickers, no judgments, just her, the car, and the road. She slid her phone into the center console and exhaled as she pulled out of the East Line Motors lot. It was almost poetic, the way the tires glided across the pavement. Like the car knew what this moment meant for her. Like the air itself had shifted. Lighter now, easier to breathe. Halfway down the block, she turned left, taking the same route she had walked yesterday after Fairway Auto Plaza sent her away. Except now she wasn't walking. She wasn't being dismissed. She wasn't shrinking herself to fit into a space someone else made smaller. She was behind the wheel. She passed by a local coffee shop and caught her reflection in the window, just a blur of motion, a silver streak on the move. She smiled. For the first time in what felt like days, her shoulders loosened, her grip relaxed. A red light stopped her just before the intersection near the plaza, and that's when she saw it. Fairway Auto Plaza, right there, gleaming under the same sun that had watched her walk away 24 hours ago. She could have looked away, could have driven on, but she didn't. She sat at the red light, looking at the glass building like it was a memory she no longer owed anything to. No revenge, no resentment, just distance. That kind of power didn't need to be announced. It just needed to be lived. The light turned green. She drove forward without a second glance. By the time she pulled back into the East Line Motors lot, a man in a clean button-down and slacks was already waiting with a clipboard. He had a kind smile and eyes that didn't scan her up and down like she had something to prove. "Miss Sandler?" he asked as she stepped out of the Elantra. "That's me," she said, stretching her legs. "I hope you enjoyed the test drive. How'd it feel?" She paused, looked at the car, then nodded. "Right," she said. It felt right. "Would you like to talk about financing options, or—" "I brought cash," she said. "I'm ready to buy." The man blinked, then smiled even wider. "Well, all right then. Let's get you taken care of." They walked inside together, and Angelina took a seat at the desk near the back of the office. The room wasn't fancy, but it was warm. There were photos of customers on the wall, smiling next to their new cars, with little notes written in marker like, "Finally mine," and "Thanks for believing in me." She knew, deep down, this was where she was supposed to end up all along. While the paperwork was being prepped, she got up and wandered to a nearby vending machine. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She glanced down. Tina Sandler, call me when you're done. Angelina smiled at the screen, heart warmer than she expected. She tapped out a reply. Angelina, just finishing up. You free for lunch? The response came almost instantly. Tina, always, you drive. Angelina slipped her phone away, laughing under her breath. Back at the desk, the salesman laid out the final sheet and handed her a pen. Once you sign here, he said, she's all yours. Angelina picked up the pen, then paused. Her eyes drifted to the glass window where the silver car still sat under the afternoon sun, waiting for her like it always had been. She sighed. And just like that, it was done. She had her car. As she walked out with the keys in her hand and the paperwork in a neat folder under her arm, a group of employees applauded softly. Not for the cameras, not for clout, just a genuine celebration. A young woman, 18 years old, buying her first car with her own money. She didn't say much. She didn't have to. The smile on her face spoke volumes. Outside, she unlocked the car, placed the folder in the passenger seat and slid behind the wheel again. Only this time it wasn't a test. It was hers. She tapped the steering wheel with both hands, almost like a thank you. Then, without a second thought, she pulled out of the lot and turned toward downtown. Tina was already waiting when she arrived, sitting at a quiet patio table at a little restaurant neither of them had been to before. When Angelina parked and walked up, her mother stood and raised a brow. You drove smooth? Like butter, Angelina said, sliding into the chair across from her. Tina gave her a once-over, not the kind that checked for flaws, but the kind that looked for growth. I saw the video, Angelina said, her tone unreadable. I figured, Tina replied. I didn't ask you to do that. No, Tina said. You didn't, but I did it anyway, because respect isn't something you beg for, it's something you teach people to give. Angelina didn't argue, she didn't need to. Instead, she poured herself some water from the carafe on the table, then looked up. They're never gonna forget you walked in there. Tina gave a small, knowing smirk. Good. And you embarrassed them. I educated them. Angelina shook her head, laughing. You know, not every mom flexes with a Rolls-Royce and a personal quote card. Tina's face softened. I wasn't trying to flex, I was making sure they remembered your name. Angelina's voice dropped just slightly. You didn't say it. No, Tina said. But I gave them a reason to wonder. They fell into an easy silence then, one of those rare mother-daughter moments where nothing needed explaining. The food came and they ate slowly, like time had finally agreed to wait. As they sipped iced tea and shared bites of dessert, Tina looked over at her daughter. This young woman she'd raised with both softness and steel. You know, she said thoughtfully, buying your first car is a milestone, but making the world respect you while doing it. That's late. Angelina leaned back in her seat, full and glowing and deeply content. Then I guess we're both building one, she said. After lunch, they walked back toward the car. The sun had dipped just enough to cast a golden hue across the city skyline. Angelina held the keys loosely in one hand, no longer clutching them like a lifeline, but swinging them like they belonged there. Tina paused at the curb and nodded toward the car. You sure you don't want me to drive? Angelina shook her head, grinning. I've got it. She slid back into the driver's seat, Tina taking the passenger side this time. The engine purred again, familiar now, comforting. As they pulled into traffic, the world rolled out in front of them like an open road.
And in the mirror behind them, Fairway Auto Plaza shrank into nothing. Because the truth was, Angelina Sandler didn't need anyone's permission to be seen. She was seen, and now, with both hands on the wheel and the past in her rear view, she was finally free to go wherever she wanted. The road, like her future, was wide open. And this time, she drove her own story. All the way home,